Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Studio B21. This one is requested by one of our amazing subscribers. We're doing a roasted honey garlic pork tenderloin. And if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, share with family and friends, and let's get into it. As a reminder, our recipe will be in the details down below, so definitely go ahead and check that out. Starting off, we are gonna dice up a few cloves of garlic. Next, we got our pork tenderloin. We're just gonna pat that dry a little bit with a little paper towel, and then you're just gonna get ready for your marinade. Alright, now we're going to start off with a little bit of our spice. In our spice we have chili powder, we have onion powder, smoked paprika, salt and pepper. You just want to add about a tablespoon of salt just to coat your pork tenderloin. Next you want to add in your minced garlic. Then you want to add in your orange juice. Next I'm adding in my soy sauce. This is a brewed soy sauce, gluten-free, but yours doesn't have to be, so use whatever you can get your hands on. Next we're adding our organic honey, natural honey. You can go with whatever brand, it doesn't really matter, it's just doing it for a little bit of sweetness to balance out the saltiness of your dish. And now that your pork tenderloin is marinated, just give it a good mix. Incorporate all your flavors together. You're going to cover that and you're going to put that away in the fridge and let it marinate for about 20 minutes. You can go for more. The more time you add to it, the more flavor will incorporate into it. Now it's time for our sauce. While our pork tenderloin is marinating, we're just going to get a little saucepan on the stove on medium heat. You're going to add your soy sauce. You're going to add the remainder of your chopped garlic, so yeah, do save some from the marinade. Then you're going to add your brown sugar. Then we're going to add some of our beautiful honey to the pot. Now you're just going to give this a nice little stir and begin to bring that sauce to a boil, and then you're going to reduce it to a simmer. I added a little bit of chili flakes. You don't have to, but for my preferences, I like a little bit of heat on it, so I add a little bit of chili flakes, so that's optional for you. Now this part is very important. When you're bringing this to a boil, you want to keep a very close eye on this because it has a tendency of doubling in size and boil over. And remember, you're dealing with sugar, so you don't want to be you don't want to hurt yourself, so be very careful. Adjust your heat accordingly. If it's starting to bubble too much, reduce your heat and I'll bring the temperature back down. Alright, now because we're dealing with a little bit of the saltiness from the soy sauce and the sweetness from the brown sugar and honey, basically you don't want to reduce the sauce too much because too much of those flavors will come out too potent and it will make the sauce, it will ruin the sauce pretty much. So what you want to do is you want to thicken the sauce from a standpoint where it tastes good to you. So wherever it tastes good to you, you want to thicken the sauce, and the way we're going to do that, we're going to use a little bit of cornstarch with a little bit of cold water to make it like a slurry, right? Use the measurements that you have down in the details for that. You're going to mix that together and you're going to slowly add that into the saucepan until your sauce starting to thicken up to a sauce consistency how you like it, right? To where you can pour it or where it just like slowly pours off the spoon. That's what you're looking for. Now at the point where you add in your cornstarch and cold water mixture, if your sauce gets too thick as you're bringing it back up to temperature, what you can do if it's too thick, you could add some warm water back to the sauce just to thin it out and thin it down a little bit more. And vice versa, if it's not thick enough, you want to add a little bit more of your cornstarch and cold water to the sauce. Give it a second when you're thickening it. So when you add the cornstarch and water into it, just let the temperature comes back up, and that's when you're gonna see it starting to thicken, right? So don't just think it's gonna thicken immediately. When you start bringing the temperature back up, you're gonna see it starting to thicken more. And now that your sauce is looking good, smelling good, feeling good, you want to set that aside and get ready for cooking our pork. Now, at this point, you want to take your pork tenderloin out of its marinade, out of the fridge, and you want to just drain it off a little bit, right, out of that marinade. You don't need a marinade anymore, so you can discard that as you're finished. And you want to basically take some of your spice mix that you had earlier, and you just want to give a little bit more love on both sides of your pork tenderloin. Just sprinkle a little bit of that seasoning on both sides. And at this point, you want to preheat your oven a little bit. Preheat your oven to about 350 because we're going to end up finishing our pork tenderloin in there. You'll see that coming up in a little bit, but I just want to give you a little bit of heads up at an earlier time. Preheat your oven, season your pork tenderloin on both sides, and we're gonna get a pan on medium heat where you're gonna sear your pork tenderloin on each side, get a nice little caramelized color on both sides, and then we're gonna finish it off in the oven. Yeah, so just like a nice frying pan, sizable frying pan, a little bit of olive oil on medium heat. You don't want to add too much olive oil because it's gonna splash around a little bit, so just add a little bit. Bring it to a nice smoky temperature, and you just want to sear really quickly both sides because you're dealing with soy sauce and sugar content, so you're gonna get a browning pretty fast. Plus the spices and the paprika, you're gonna get a nice crust on your pork tenderloin pretty fast, so you want to keep an eye on that as well, and don't leave it for too long, else you just end up burning everything and you get a bitter taste from the burn. But yeah, just a nice sear on all sides, and then we're just gonna put it in the oven for about 20 minutes in the oven, and it should be done. Now after that 20 minutes, your pork tenderloin should be done. You want to take it out of the oven. You want to take that lovely sauce that you made earlier and you just want to coat it, right? You just want to baste it, your pork tenderloin, with that sauce. You want to put your oven on broil. That's where the heat is coming from the top, right? And you want to put that back in the oven. So put it on low broil so you don't burn it. And then you want to put that back in the oven on the lower rack and just let that sauce caramelize on top of your pork tenderloin. And once that lovely sugars and stuff start to caramelize on your pork tenderloin, that's completely done. You just want to take that and set it to the side and let it rest. And then we're going to continue on with our plating. And now that your pork tenderloin has come out the oven, nicely rested, you can get ready to slice it up. And that's your pork tenderloin. That's your roasted honey garlic pork tenderloin right there. Now we're gonna take it one step further, like we always do on this channel, and we're gonna do a nice plating for you. So we're gonna have a little bit of extra ingredients where we add some sauteed broccolini with it. So stay tuned for the rest of that. If you guys do enjoy what you've seen so far, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We love that stuff, YouTube loves that stuff, and it helps out the channel a lot. So let's go. Also, don't be afraid to let us know what you think about our dishes in the comment section. We love to hear from you. To all our subscribers, we love and appreciate you guys always. So stick around for our next couple of videos coming up, and we'll see you on the next one. Until then, peace.